I will. All right. Never fails. Clears up every time. Uh, Godfather Harlem. First season, episode 5. Um, this one ended with a little bit of a little bit of what is it, climax or something? I don't know. Appeared to be a little bit enraged. He got bested. The main character, Bumpy, got bested by his arch rival, Chin, a boss for the mafiosos. Or in the mafia? I don't know what I'm talking about. I just woke up from a nap and watched this episode. So, I have to be honest here, my sleep schedule is all over the place, but I still want to work on my speech, so I'm going to continue to make these videos in order to be a better speaker. If that makes any sense. So anyway, let's see here. Well, what happens in this episode? I feel like this episode was, to me, it felt uneventful, but oh, well, I guess I could talk about that. Well, let me get an overview. So, we've got Bumpy and Chin are at each other's throats, and it's funny how you have Bumpy playing chess with another associate, and the time that they decided to put that in, the time that scene was played or shown in the episode is after all these moves that can be considered as chess moves have taken place from Bumpy and this Chin character, which I just thought was a pretty nice touch. We see Bumpy's daughter coming around again. We see that, but not necessarily coming in contact with Bumpy himself or his family, but that character's making an appearance again. Malcolm X makes a brief appearance. Oh, the congressman, he dug himself in a bit of a hole in this episode. Not too bad of a hole, but a bit of a hole. Let's see what else happens in here. Oh, the lovebirds. The lovebirds are at it once again. Are they at it once again? No, the lovebirds aren't at it once again. I'm not sure I put that. The lovebirds are afoot. Put that. What else happens? What else happens in this episode? I guess I could get right to it. The main thing of it. So you've got Bumpy and Chin. These two characters are going at it, and what's the first attack? The first attack comes from Bumpy's side. He can't remember. Oh well, yeah. The first attack comes from Bumpy's side, but it was in the previous episode. He goes after Chin and his social club because of the leverage that he has over Muhammad Ali. Okay, fast forward to the next episode. Chin decides to attack Bumpy's distribution operation for his they call it junk, but it's heroin. So he attacks him and takes out a lot of guys, and you get to see the softer side of Bumpy when he realizes one of his older friends got taken out in this hit. You know what I mean? So things move on forward. I'm trying to remember the events, how they happen. So it's that's the initial attack in this episode. Bumpy has a opportunity to get revenge on him, but it involves snitching. And of course, you know, real gangsters don't snitch, and snitches. What's the saying? Snitches get stitches. But this also underlines the definition of snitching. Now, Bumpy and Chin are both in illegal enterprises, pretty much together or adjacent, if you will. But if Bumpy tells on him, that's considered snitching. Now, if the little old lady crossing the street, or the single man, or the family, or whatever, is affected by the actions of Bumpy or Chin, and they tell the police, that's not snitching. That's a civilian. Now that I got that off my chest. So what else happens? But the rule of thumb is you should mind your business at all costs. Anyway, where was I going? What was the next act after that? I'm trying to think because I'm trying to think here. He decides not to do it. Oh wait, no, there's two hits by Chin. I feel like it was two hits, 2 points scored by Chin over Bumpy. The second one was they all run numbers. Now, give a brief history of this number stuff. This number stuff it's the lottery, but I guess it's run by criminal organizations, like a better term. Back in the day, that was the biggest thing before drugs were realized to be uber profitable. They did this numbers game. I don't know too much about it because I'm so far removed from that. I have to go look up a history book or something to see how that even works out. But anyway, this individual Chin works a way to rig the numbers game so it could bankrupt Bumpy, and Bumpy decide, and that's the second blow. So the character Bumpy has to find like $300,000 in the '60s, which is like, come on, dude, that's a lot of money. He has to figure out how to find that. He has the opportunity to go back to like one of his the woman who was like his one of his mistress, I guess. The girl who was like he had a fling with. He has to go back to her, and when he's there, the camera pans to this really historical photo, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is that? I'm thinking about it. You know, the woman's got her chest all exposed. You know, once I get past that and I come to my senses, I'm like, wait a minute. At a certain point in time, slaves were used as wet nurses for the children of the slave owner, and that's what that picture depicts. Like, dang, they threw that in there all willy nilly like that. That was, to me, I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. And with Bumpy seeing that, he realizes what he's doing. I mean, he's basically selling his flesh for. He's basically hoeing. Hey, that's basically what he was doing, and he decided not to do that. So he didn't snitch, and he didn't turn into a hoe. So, well, what else is there for him to do? He goes behind Chin to another mob boss and strikes a deal with him. But later in the episode, you find out that just Chin knew about that and basically robs that exchange before it even happens. So that's 3 hits by Chin. I mean, Bumpy's down a lot at this position at this particular point. I'm excited to see. How he rises from the ashes in this situation. That's where I come in at the beginning of this upload talking about it was all climactic because Bumpy walks in there and I give it to Forrest Whitaker. He's a great actor, but he's not as young as he used to be. You know, he throws this pretty heavy table over, which looks like he may have strained L7 and L6 in his lower lumbar or something like that. And he takes a bat to the table and barely breaks it. So I'm like, okay, I can understand he's mad, but he's hurting himself more than he's hurting that table. That's pretty much it on that front. And I guess you could talk about the Lovebirds. So they're outside of the studio after they've been done recording this new song he's got, which I like it. And they're starting to interject some scenes of young activists, because this is taking place in the early '60s. You remember, civil rights movement is really just starting to get steam at this point. So they interject some young kids in the prison where he's sitting. Oh, because the Lovebirds got caught outside the studio after the recording session, and the police officer, no, he's not going for that. Black and white don't mix. So he gets beat, they both get arrested, but of course her father happens to be the Chin character, so you got people on the payroll. Yeah, it's a whole snowball effect. I'm waiting to see who gets their head chopped off in that situation. The young man's mother of the Lovebird, the mother of the male side of the Lovebirds, she played that number with Bumpy and winds up winning, but winds up having to spend the whole money to get him bailed out of jail. I like how it's intertwining. I like the complexity of that a lot. I have to respect it. God, I hope I didn't miss anything. I guess I should talk about the congressman just a little bit. He dug himself in a little bit of a hole. Now, he's talking big, got his chest poked out, talking about how the discrimination against blacks who are involved in this numbers racket, and said and promises to give names of Italians involved in the numbers racket. Of course, he doesn't have anything to give, and he gets put on the spot, and he gives a number of, and he gives the name of a black woman involved in the transportation of money. That's the only thing I got for him. But he winds up getting punched by that lady, which I thought was pretty funny. I'm trying to think what else happened in this episode. Is there anything else? Oh, Bumpy's daughter. I almost forgot about her. So she goes full tilt and decides to join the Nation of Islam, which I think is a good term for that character. I mean, she was literally, robbing and getting high and, using her body in order to meet this need that this vice has created or cultivated in her. I'm interested to see where that character goes, but somebody who she's under the tutelage of points out the fact that, hey, you're not the first one to be smitten by this Malcolm X character. He's just a man. I'm interested to see where that goes. That's pretty much it. If you enjoy me spouting off out the mouth about TV shows and movies, I have plenty of other videos up. Go check them out. I've got The Wire. I've got Futurama. I've got Breaking Bad, Mandalorian, which I don't like. Of course, I got this, The Godfather. And, yeah. And I might even, I just got plenty of videos. Go check them out. And subscribe. Let me see. Does that messing your vision up a little bit? Subscribe.